Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's 420 on another hashtag Weed Wednesday. We're a little late. But it's 420. And you, of course, are in the cipher with the PodHeads. It's your commander-in-chief, Frank the Tank. And as always, I'm hanging with my very best buds, JB Perez.
Right. What's up? JB in the cipher, hashtag Weed Wednesday. Shout out to you guys already out there. I see you guys. Thank you so much. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, the podheadswebshow.com, all that stuff. That's not the right way.
We already know.
The podheads.com.
And of course, Big Ace.
Hey, what it do, what it be, what it look like, what it look like. What up, everybody? The one and only Big Ace, the Podheads, we here. What up?
What up? We are here.
Hey, baby.
Another hashtag We Wednesday. It's a long one. We're late. Excuse our lateness. And we appreciate those that stuck around and actually are still there hanging with us because, pretty cool. We got exciting things happening. You know, we're late for a reason.
That's right. Not just because we're high, people.
Yeah. A little bit because we're high.
I mean, we're always high.
Putting in some work.
That's besides the point.
Yeah, so we just got done interviewing Simon Jackson.
Yes,
and Simon is Calm Simon from TikTok. If you're up on your TikTok game, you know who the hell this guy is. And if not, this is the guy that moved into his cubicle at work in Seattle.
His job.
He moved into his job as a protest of low wages and just became like this Robin Hood kind of figure where, he lost his job as a result of it, but he got raises for everybody else at his company, brought national attention to this company.
Yep.
And
from what he told us, he's got good looking prospects coming out. So it wasn't a bust at all.
Yeah.
Being fired from that job. But yeah,
it was cool. It was a good interview. We got in depth. We talked about some real shit, survive. It's wild. You got to watch it. It'll be up here within the week, I'm sure. But at Calm Simon on TikTok.
Yeah.
If you don't already follow him, check him out. He's got over 150,000 followers, over 20 million views on all his videos.
My man wears rompers.
Over 3 million interactions. He makes rompers.
I'm saying.
The guy makes rompers. I don't have a picture up for the show. You have to check out the interview. But yeah, he makes his own rompers and makes custom rompers. As well as other outfits, but this is unique. Probably one of the most unique persons I've ever met.
Really?
Spoke multiple languages. Really educated. Yeah, for somebody that does crazy dances on TikTok. Yeah,
right. Because we make fun of people on TikTok that do the things he does, and look at this buffoon. But you actually meet the person behind the dances, and that's just him. That's just he likes to have a good time. He's educated, spoke 2 languages, probably knows more than that. Man, I'm glad.
Awesome interview, great, insightful, very cool dude, very funny, smart person. We'll definitely put that out for y'all's watching pleasure, and listening pleasure for the podcast. But you definitely want to watch. You definitely want to watch because it's a
good one.
It's a good one, yeah.
We're fans.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
Yeah,
we're a little tired. I went to the gym again today. I'm just beat.
Mr.
Muscles. Whatever. I'm trying to freaking stay in shape. I find that if I what do they say? An object in motion stays in motion.
Momentum.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I find that if I spend more than a week or 2 outside of some kind of physical activity, whether it be gym or playing some sports or something like that, I get really, I start getting back pain, leg pain. It's bad for me.
You legit,
I've had
as a physical.
Yeah, I've had. It's not just like feeling lazy and getting out of shape. I've had back surgery, and I still continue with issues, plantar fasciitis, back issues, all that. You name it, basically from like L5 down. I got it. But as long as I stay active, as long as I'm able to keep exercising and working out, strengthening those muscles, I'm able to stay pain free. I feel great, really. Sure. But during it, I just can't. Look at this.
What is this?
Look, we got some porn people are trying
to. We got porn scammers
trying to troll our. Is this robots? Yeah. Or is this,
look at that.
So it looks like we got
world to see.
Comment. I don't know if we could block them, but somebody's commenting with all kinds of porn stuff. Look at this.
Naked girls here. Everyone get the fuck
shout out.
get rid of these guys before we get a virus.
Don't shout them out.
Yeah. Anyway,
Fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Don't go to that. Don't follow that link, people.
Please no. Yeah.
Your computer's gonna get AIDS if you click on that.
Exactly. So hey, that's probably YouTube right there. All these guys are consistent, persistent. We haven't given up, and we faced that whole shadow banning thing. So it's what it is. Anyway, if you're listening to the podcast, somebody just commented trying to solicit porn on our live stream.
Yeah, we all get those spams.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody does. Somebody's been watching porn on our account somehow.
We don't judge.
That's why JB knew exactly what it was.
Big Ace.
I know that website.
That's his girlfriend.
Dear to my
Big
heart.
Ace is rocking a stash here.
Yes.
I feel like I have to bring this up because you don't just walk around with a mustache like this unless you want people
you
to ask
act like
you
you
about
own this mustache.
So I want him to. He looks like my old chief at the fire academy. This guy was a big bald
I've been
dude too.
trying to grow it, and I always give up a Lego, so I fucking grew.
You
it
look like an
because-
old bare knuckle wrestler in like the 1800s. Yeah. He's got his mustache. I must ask you a question. Yeah.
You look
He's
like
got
a
his
villain.
mustache curled up like he's about to go tie a damsel to a railroad track.
Exactly. He looks like a villain.
I'm about to go tie your girlfriend to the fucking train tracks.
Yeah.
And see if you can save her in time.
The villain from Sonic the
Yeah.
Hedgehog.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but what made
What
you
is
do
that?
this? I remember a few
What
years
is
ago
that?
the mustache was a trend thing, and now I'm just
because
like,
I just was. I've never been able to stick with it and let it grow. And then
okay.
this time around, I just said, fuck
So
it.
you're
I'm gonna
trying
do
to
it.
do the whole mustache thing, like let it grow
I
into
just wanted
something.
to
You're gonna be a
do it.
mustache guy.
Hey, from every guy that can't grow a beard, fuck you.
Yeah.
Don't hate me because you ain't
From the
me.
entire
I just
Asian
never kept
population.
with it.
Don't hate me because you ain't me.
I wish I could grow a
I
mustache.
come from a
like that.
long
That's pretty
line
good.
of hairy men.
I think I can grow a. You know what? I can grow a
appreciate
way
that.
butter mustache. Butter. I can grow a butter mustache. It's
See.
great for eating corn. I can grow a way better mustache than I can grow a beard.
Yes.
It's great for eating.
And
corn.
I can grow a nice, but I look like a dirty porn actor. Like I look like like I look like you don't want
I say
nobody.
you
Yeah,
let it
dirty
grow.
Sanchez
I
and
say
Carney.
both of you let it grow,
Uh,
and for the wedding we rock the fucking.
Oh no, I'm not gonna
vaudeville
ruin. Yeah,
mustaches.
no.
Frank the Tenth
Yeah.
get married soon.
No, I'm not gonna ruin my anything like that with that crazy mustache. But I will say it. I can rock a nice. I had the handlebars for a nice long while, but no. Chops. But yeah. So anyway, I went to a concert. I would say this weekend, but no, like yesterday. So I'm pretty tired.
Yeah.
Who does a concert on Tuesday? And when I bought the tickets,
Hold on, let me not interrupt you because I need
Spin
some
this
smoke.
wheel.
Yes.
Oh
let's
shit!
spin the wheel.
Well, I figured we'd just catch up and then spin the wheel. But let's do this before we get into this. Vito the mustache thing. Before we get into this,
Vito.
let's let's spin this wheel. It's gonna be a fun episode, by the way, folks. Maybe not. We're talking
see.
politics, local backyard politics. We know we
Always
hate
fun.
to talk politics, but we want to talk about things that are kind of triggering us this week. And things that you should know, especially if you live in Florida. But let's spin this wheel, find out what it is that we're smoking.
Yeah.
There we go.
Let's see what the fates say.
Hey, if you don't know, if this is your first time watching or if you're listening, we have a weed wheel that decides our fates.
Nice.
Anything from bongs to pens to
Pens?
vaporizers. We
Is
landed
that
on
the
pen
kind you ride
today.
with?
Nice.
And so today we're gonna smoke vape pens. And Big Ace has a pen ready to rock here.
That's a nice little contraption there.
Nice
Yeah.
little contraption.
Mhm.
It's nice. How do you guys feel about the vape pens? I'm not a huge fan of cards. They never really quite
They
get
don't
me
really
where I'm
do
trying
it.
to go.
Yeah.
Nothing but Bud really does. Not even like
Speaking of
wax.
that, I actually
Wax does.
my buddy makes carts, and I have one for you guys to try. So.
oh,
look
hello.
at that.
Look at that cat. Look at those reflexes. I caught it, folks.
So your buddy makes them, and here we
so
got.
Joshy's Choice.
Yeah.
Shout out.
So whenever these finally do go nationwide or whatever he can get them to be by, this is all to help suicide prevention because his brother committed suicide, and so this is to honor his brother Joshy.
Wow.
Look at
Okay.
that.
And so every sale will have a little
Gosh,
percentage of
that's
it go
choice.
to suicide prevention.
That's
Suicide prevention,
incredible. So look at this.
That's tasty.
Joshy's Choice. Obviously, the name has a meaning, right?
Gotcha.
It's a premium cannabis oil, CO2 oil here, right? 90% THC, 0.22% CBD, and 1% CBD. This is an indica called Cloud 9 here. Is this what we're smoking? All right, we're gonna be asleep on the air.
That's not it.
Oh, okay, thank God. Because but anyway, very cool packaging. If you want to check this out, if you want to bring up my camera there, Cash. It's my fan. It's my fan. So very cool little packaging. You can't see it very well. But yeah, sells little carts. Very cool. So check them out. JoshiesChoice.com.
Anytime, you know me, I've always say take the money from weed, right? The tax, and do something helpful with it. This is along that same ballpark that a business is taking some of their proceeds for a positive result, not just to line their pockets. So anytime that it's something like this where you're taking marijuana money and turning it around for something positive, you're going to get my money, Joshy.
Yes. Give you a blank check, Josh. All right. So very cool. Very cool.
Thanks.
But let's get into it. We were going to talk some. I did want to talk about this concert. So I'm exhausted. Went to a concert last night. That supposed to have started at 7:30. But somehow I didn't get home till like 1:30.
Those guys are never on time.
No? Never. It's not cool to be on time. But there was no it was a John Mayer concert. Okay. And before I say anything, before anybody says anything, number one, John Mayer is a very respectable artist. Very, very great, accomplished musician.
People in the know
and
that.
Great guitars. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, for Christmas, I bought Shawnee tickets to go see John Mayer. And I sort of forgot about it. I kind of knew it was coming, but I kind of forgot that it was coming up so quick. And then next, I was like, hey, John Mayer concert on Tuesday. I was like, oh, shit. Okay. All right, cool. So bet an hour and a half away, by the way. Yeah. Damn it.
Yes.
Okay. So we take the drive on a Tuesday during rush hour.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Trifecta.
2 hours, 2 and some hours, 2 and change to get to an hour and a half distance. But you know what? Got there a little late and still waited for a while before. Dude, at $18 for a beer, my dude. $18 for a beer.
Surprise?
And
a little bit.
And let me tell you, it was the tall boys, right? But $18. And let me tell you, John Mayer required that all drinks in the building be poured. So they even if you got a soda, I got a soda because I was already, you know me. I already was drinking on the way. I pre-flighted. So we were lit already by the time we got there. So I was like, I need a soda. I'm already got a cotton mouth. I paid $16 for a damn soda. No, excuse me, not 16. I think it was like $9
myself here.
But
John
regardless,
Mayer, you bastard.
they said, the lady at the counter said, we got to pour everything for you because John Mayer don't want no bottles.
They don't want nobody chucking it.
I guess maybe he's got some bad experiences.
It has to be. All those things are written in blood. That had to have happened for the rule to be made.
Yeah.
So.
Click on those 3 dots. See if you can block them. The 3 dots in the corner. Don't show the shit. There you go. Block that shit. Jesus.
Get out of here.
So anyway, what else? So the concert, right? Went in there. Got my poured freaking Pepsi. Not a nice cold Pepsi, but just a hot, warm. A bottle of Pepsi poured into a cup with no ice.
Just ruining it, man.
But anyway, good seats. Good. I'm not complaining. Good seats. Good concert. I got a whole new respect for the dude because I'm not a huge fan. There's some music. No, there's some music that I like of his. But outside of the hits, I never really knew too much. But the guy can. I mean, I always heard that he was a really accomplished guitarist, really good. Yes. But to hear this guy live play so clean and just solo so hard and just rip, I mean, really I've been to a few concerts. Yeah, I'm no fucking globe traveler, but I've seen the Rolling Stones. I've been to Sublime joints. I've been to Jay-Z. I can't remember. I've been to a couple of concerts, and one thing that I've kind of always liked about live music is the fact that you can kind of hear the mistakes, the errors, the strumming, just little things like that you don't hear on the album. And it just kind of, I don't know, I enjoy that. It doesn't take away from the music. It just kind of, they're human. It's not as clean. It's that part of that live feel. But this guy's so goddamn good. It's either that or he's fucking a great air guitarist with that damn, sound system. But because the guy was ripping shit, playing stuff that obviously is not on the damn radio, just like tearing up these solos. And it's so freaking clean. I mean, hands moving at lightning speed. And not one little scratch, not one.
None of that. Huh? I get. You know what? I get it. It's different live. Like anything live. I love sports live. I watch any sports live. I bet that watching a rock star shred the guitar in your face it hits
in your face.
It's different, right? You feel my sweat, man.
Yeah. And of course, he's in like rock star. He's like jeans, boots, and like a gray t-shirt.
I think my thing with John Mayer will go down right as one of the greatest guitarists.
I think he's highly regarded in probably top 10 all time right now.
Amazing. And then he started singing, and then that's
maybe top 20. I don't know. Yeah.
So
I don't think he's a great singer. I don't love his voice.
That's my point.
But he can play guitar. I don't know how he got
any John Mayer show you go to, you might actually have a chance of seeing Dave Chappelle perform too, because they're really friends.
Are they homeboys?
But aside from that, I gained my respect for John Mayer at one of his specials. I don't remember which one it was. It's I think one of the last ones he came out with. But the first act was just him on stage by himself, and he was just fucking ripping shit and doing it. And then the next part was the John Mayer. So he was the opener for his own thing.
Oh shit! Okay.
So
how narcissistic you gotta be?
Well, he did his own, and I don't want to go too far into John Mayer, but he did do his own
but
thing.
It was him, and then the John Mayer trio, which is like 3 people, and then it was the John Mayer band, and then fucking so like that was the.
I will say,
fucking dope. Like every single section of it was
the
sick
curtain
as fuck,
jerker, the mid Carter, and the main event.
Closer over here.
3 triple threat. You know what? Very diverse band, right? There was all colors and sexes and like seems like there was all creeds and whatnot. What I would say, there was only one other white dude on stage other than him, and a pretty decent sized band. Good music. It was cool. I did not realize that many people were into John Mayer. I thought I was gonna be the only dude in this place, but it was a packed stadium full of dudes and women. Most guys were double fisting beers with their wives, but it was a good time. I had fun for a Tuesday.
Just kind of covers all the bases, right? All the women. If you're a guitar guy, a rock guy, a funny guy, I heard he's a fucking hilarious guy. He's a comedian.
Sure, why not? He's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, he was really good friends with Bob Saget and Ross. What's his name? Jim Ross? Not Jim Ross. The comedian, the roast guy.
Oh, Jeffrey Ross.
And all those guys. I'm like, okay, well, you got to be pretty funny if you're gonna hang out with those guys.
Sure. All right, cool. All right, so let's get into this. John Mayer, of all things. I never thought you'd hear me talk about John Mayer on this.
What'd you do this week?
All right, so what are we talking about?
Backyard politics, right?
Backyard politics. We want to talk about this Don't Say Gay bill, folks. The Don't Say Gay bill. What's this thing officially called, people? Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry. What's this thing called, JB? Yeah, that's weird. But anyway,
it's the Parental Rights in Education.
You know what?
You guys be leaving me drowning, by the way. I swear to fucking God. Who the hell brought this? Isn't this your story? You don't even know the name of the bill?
No, I thought you were flowing with it, and I was just gonna take it right from
there. I literally
Aaron.
asked them what
Big A's, and I think it's important that people should title it as such, right? Because it's not just about. I personally don't think it's just about the don't say gay part.
Okay.
But let's go ahead. Let's go talk about this bill. And I'm gonna, I was talking to Frankie about this bill, and I love to shit on Ron DeSantis. I'll take any opportunity to shit on Ron DeSantis. Whoa. But lately, Ron DeSantis has been doing some things that I can get down with. And I don't know if you were expecting this, but this law, I understand it. This Don't Say Gay bill, I think I understand where this is coming from.
Well, what is it in general?
Exactly. What is it in general? Basically, the two major parts of this bill is that between the ages of kindergarten and third grade, whatever that age group is, teachers are not allowed to talk about sexual orientation, about sexual them LGBTQ subjects. Okay, you are not allowed to talk about that in your class, and if you are found to do so by a parent, they have now legal precedence to sue you because you did that.
Do we really need a law for that shit? Who talks about shit like that to kindergartners?
Thank you. I think that's a very good
there
point.
are children's books, by the way, for gay to explain gay and lesbian.
So let's talk about.
Have you? By the way, my child. I have had my kid ask about a kid who has had two moms or two dads before. Like kids are curious.
Exactly.
And if they see it, and we live in a country where it's out there, so let's not pretend that it's not something that kids are not exposed to.
Sure.
Let's just say that. But go ahead.
Well, let me ask you this, because I think this law was not the conversation about two moms, two dads, right? Because we're talking about two adults, two grown people. I think this is about the conversation about that individual child and answering questions that child might have about themselves. We personally met somebody who had this kind of situation have with their young person. They said 6, right? And we were kind of taken aback. Like, I didn't know that conversation you could have with your son and daughter at 6 years old.
We did,
instinctively, my gut turned a little bit. And let me just emphasize, I'm pro LGBTQ. I am for the movement. But I did not feel right having a daughter of my own in that age group. Listening to this person said at 5, 6 years old, I was, I don't want to say enforcing it, but like feeding it, not feeding it.
So,
it was just, I get what
you're saying. I get what you're saying.
It wasn't acknowledging because she said she went and sued. She went and got therapists.
She took action
specifically at that age group. And that I didn't know. I don't know. So that's why I said, you know what, maybe DeSantis is right. From kindergarten to third grade, do these children know about feelings? About sexuality?
So it's not just about that. I know we did have a slide in here somewhere, but I don't know what slides or what. But I know that the main things is that, in classrooms, they're not supposed to be allowed to talk about sexual orientation. I know that they're not supposed to be able to talk about LGBTQ topics, or recognize like that stuff. And then it also, like you said, makes it legal for parents to be able to sue if they find that's been violated. This part particularly worries me because I would hope that they would have to prove it. You know, that this doesn't just turn out to start being a witch hunt for gay or for teachers that are part of the LGBTQ community. What happens now to teachers who are part of that community, who want to live openly, who a woman that has a picture of another woman on her desk at work? You know what I mean? A male teacher who's obviously effeminate, or who brings his husband into the classroom like any other teacher might, bring their spouse into the classroom. My question is, what is going to happen to these people? Because no, I agree with you. I don't think it's appropriate. Here, let me say this: not appropriate. What's appropriate, what's not appropriate. What I believe is that a young person who's never had any experience with sex at all, I think it's very hard for them to start making lifelong decisions based on their very early thoughts and what little they know. And so I think that very carefully that we should actually be able to individualistically approach those things with those children and help them work those things out, rather than trying to stamp a label. Oh, you got feelings. You don't necessarily feel like you feel like a girl inside. Boom, transgender. No, maybe there's something that maybe he doesn't want to be a woman. Maybe there's something else there. Maybe there's a little nature. Maybe there's a little nurture. Now, are there people that are born gay or vice versa or whatever? Absolutely, I believe that. Should these people not have a voice at that age? What about when a little 6, 7-year-old has questions? What happens to the little 7-year-old or 5-year-old in class that doesn't like to play dodgeball, doesn't like to do the things that the other little boys do, and starts asking his teacher about why he's different? I don't think that the teacher or probably in school is the best place to start educating. That is probably something as a parent that I'd want to happen in my house first. Absolutely. I just worry because bills like this are vague. I haven't been able to read all of it myself, but it's like, I agree with you, JB. I do. I agree with the fact that teachers should not be taking liberties or should just be openly talking to children about these kind of things. These are things that should be discussed with parents, shit like that. However, I'm very fearful, very much fearful for people in the LGBTQ communities who are also educators, as well as students who already feel like they don't have a voice and already don't feel that they can't talk to anybody. The suicide rates in schools, especially amongst LGBTQ community, is already high. So this doesn't seem like it helps. This to me seems like it just helps conservative fucking Karens. This seems like it helps people who are just special interests. I mean,
it's just another attack on the LGBT community under the guise of, oh, we gotta look out for the babies. And I get it. Certain stuff, I'm with y'all. Certain stuff why do we need a law for this? This shouldn't happen. Like, this is stuff that I should be talking with my kid about. It's stuff that shouldn't be talked about at home, at school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It should have even been a question or a subject brought up, period, right?
Unfortunately, you have the people that are in support of this law are the same people that are in denial about certain things. They're the same people whose children would not feel comfortable to talk to them about it.
Yeah.
I just have,
you know what I mean? So it's like you're kind of in a catch-22 here.
I don't want to derail the conversation, but like, if they're going to do this, what makes you think that it's okay to teach, kindergarten through 3rd grade about religion? Yeah. Like, if they can't hear about this stuff, like, why can't they hear about that? Like,
some schools don't allow that either nowadays.
Well, I don't mean like at all. Like, why can churches talk to them? Why don't we make a law that churches can't talk to people?
Sure.
Where does it end? Where's the line?
Well,
yeah. I saw at one point that my bad. Go ahead, JB.
No, I was just gonna say that I think it's you might have mentioned it. This is a very political move. I actually did read most of it. It's a 7-page bill, and this don't say gay part. It actually this small compared to the 7 full pages. This bill is really more about the parents' control of education here in Florida. Okay, really, the headline should be: you can, if you're a teacher, you can get sued if the parent does not like what you are teaching. In this whole 7
so it's
pages,
not limited to
absolutely
sexuality.
Not. It is saying you must report to the parent if you're going to change your curriculum. You must
if you get any mental health.
If you need it, you must reach out to the parent. Anything, you must reach out to the parent. So it really, convoluted. The media, call it what you want. Yeah, this don't say gay part is a very small part of just a big overall of parents now are able to control their education.
But hold on a minute. Not all parents think the same.
What do you say about Mr. and Mrs.? Like in the are teachers going to be allowed to say I'm Mr.
Exactly,
this,
that's the
I'm
hypocritical
Mrs. that?
part. Like, okay, so we're not going to talk about gender identities, but isn't a Mr. and Mrs. part of that gender spectrum? Like,
that's the reason why. So they can't actually attack LGBTQ people, right? They can't attack gay people because that's against the Constitution,
right?
So they have to write it intentionally vague. But the problem is they wrote it so vague that now you can't even be like, hey, boys and girls, let's do this. Because now you're gendering them.
Yeah, see, that's how.
So now LGBTQ people can sue the teacher because you gendered their child.
If your 7-year-old comes back,
bathrooms, that's gendered bathrooms. You can't have that no more. You can't talk about this stuff.
You know
can't
what?
Talk about gender.
I
You
like
can't talk about anything. You can't introduce yourself like you're saying. You cannot introduce yourself as Miss or Mrs. or Mr.
Sure, yeah.
That's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna go so as far as
listen,
the bathrooms or anything, but I get what you're saying. There is a like, where the hell do you draw the line on something?
Yeah, I
like
think
this?
we're getting we're blowing it out. I don't think it's gonna get to the point where motherfuckers are gonna sue because they introduced themselves as Mr. Jones.
No, yeah. My question is, what about when you're, the 7-year-old, 8-year-old girl who feels like she's a boy or vice versa, and the teacher refers to them as such? There have been stories of students who are transgender, where the teachers refuse to call them by the name they want to be called, or refer to them as by the gender they want to be referred to. So, like you said, it's muddy waters.
Yeah,
This
bill
muddy
protects
waters.
those people now up
but
at least third grade.
But let's take this beyond the sexuality part. If this bill is that broad and it covers so many things, right? Who's to say that somebody ain't gonna sue the teacher because I didn't like, that they taught this subject?
Yeah, I mean that's basically
So you're gonna have to check with
happening.
every individual parent and make sure you get a fucking consensus on what you can teach them.
You said
you
might have said it earlier, Ron. This is all part of his presidential plan. This is him talking to his base. Like he might know, and his people might know that. Yeah, I can sign this, but this is never really going to take off. But I know my base wants to hear me say, I don't want gays in school. You understand what I'm saying? Like he's speaking directly to his base, ready for 2024. That's how I truly feel. I'm with you. This is a conversation that shouldn't even happen. But now they open the door for just this whole debacle of suing schools for the subjects that they teach. I'm telling you, bro, this country is going backwards.
So what's the final? What are we ruling on this? We're for the bill, against the bill.
Doing this shit. It's like the abortion bill. They're doing it to where it's like not really illegal, but you could sue for it. So it's like, that's how they're trying to get like around the Supreme Court constitutionality.
Absolutely, let's put the power back in the hands of the Karens.
I wish it was straightforward. You asked me what I think. I think it's. I don't know what I think between the ages of kindergarten to third grade. I don't know what is healthy for my child, and I want what is the most healthiest for my child. Okay, I do believe that Ron DeSantis and his people did not do this for the benefit of all the little children in the world. Trust me, it has all to do about politics and money and positioning. That's how I feel about this. What's gonna happen? I don't know. Florida, bro.
Well, nobody's gonna be talking about sex in school between those grades, and is what it is. I think we'll find a way to get by either way, unless the Supreme Court rules down that it's unconstitutional.
Federal,
which they've done to one of his bills about voting already. So
there you go. Another reason. I'm just gonna throw this out there. So
So you said there was a couple of contributors.
So you go ahead and put up that
like
first slide. Yeah, I wanted to talk about who actually contributed it.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't know you could contribute to a bill. Like
me neither. Like
what? Look at these numbers, bro. These are all.
These are the companies that support the Don't Say Gay bill. Or what's the name of this bill again? Because I don't want to keep
parental choice, something or other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just FYI, Publix.
Parental rights in education.
So United Healthcare, Publix, AT&T, Charter Communications, Duke Energy, Comcast, Universal. Did I say Publix? Florida Realtors, Anheuser-Busch, and Walgreens all have submitted between $28,000 and $200,000 to this.
Charter Communications is Spectrum, by the way.
There you go.
I don't know about all the other companies specifically, but I do know Publix is one of the number one contributors to keeping weed from becoming legal in the country.
So if you know these companies and you don't support this bill, then maybe you should not support these companies. Maybe you shouldn't buy beer from these guys or shop at Publix. If you do support the bill, well, then have at it. Drink all that Bud Light you can.
You know
what? Think about this. Look at that for a second.
Speaking of support,
But even look at that for a second, right? I don't want to support these companies, right? If you're in the state of Florida, there's only 3 cable companies that you can get.
Not much.
And they're all on that list.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The biggest insurance provider, United Healthcare, is on that list.
Yeah.
Publix, Anheuser-Busch, all the beers. So it's like,
what you gonna do?
Stop living?
Yeah, I guess so.
Exactly, and they owe more than that. You know
Yingling.
Go ahead and put up that. This is I brought this up because I was doing research in it. Not irony, that's not the right word, but I think I think more people feel the way I do in regards to this particular subject at this particular age. Look at the numbers. Say more than half of the people agree on limiting LGBTQ education in the early on. And I'm just gonna go with the spirit of that feeling. I think that's right. I think more people believe in that. And it doesn't matter, Democrats, Republicans, it doesn't matter. Obviously, Republicans believe in more than Democrats and independents, but on average, right? At that age, they're so malleable, they're sponges. Anything you say, anything you show them, anything that you're giving to them, they suck that up. How do we know we aren't the ones influencing their decisions by having these conversations? How do we know that? I don't think we know that. So we have to be careful. I have a daughter, and I just know my experiences with her. I mean, she sees, she takes it all in, right? What is to say that whatever conversations that they do or don't have, isn't making that decision for them?
Sure.
You understand what I'm asking?
I'm
asking the question.
Tainting the pool. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, are we tainting their development by having these discussions at this age? Okay, is it beneficial or hurtful at that age to have that conversation?
Just by having the conversations, are you indoctrinating them?
That's my question.
But so is anybody clamoring to have these conversations? I guess that's my thing. Like if they come up, like if a kid is curious or has feelings and asks their teacher about it, should the teacher say, "I can't talk to you, hands off," or should they be able to do what they do? Should teachers be able to? I don't think sex education is taught until about 7th grade, so I don't think it's an issue. But should teachers? I mean, should we be scared to talk about this?
I don't know
completely. I kind of agree with you in a sense where
if you're a teacher, just go ahead and be like, "Hey, your child asked me about this one thing today. I think it's something that you need to discuss with him."
Oh yeah, and that would be the spirit. That would be the spirit of the bill right there.
Just the end of it right there, and then you leave it up to them. But because I believe in maybe not having these discussions. If they do ask, be like, "Hey, maybe it's not time for you yet. Come back later."
Yeah.
But then I also feel that you definitely shouldn't be letting people transition until they're like over 18 or maybe even 21. Like your brain doesn't even fully develop until you're 24.
Yeah.
So like, what do you really know about yourself?
That's what we said. That's like we said earlier, could you be contributing to it already? Give these people a chance to develop these thoughts and feelings on their own, through their own experiences, through their own education, as opposed to trying to mold them at such an early age. You were talking about more support from
we saw the support. This is the anti-support. Somebody fighting against, and it's the biggest company, really, it might be in the whole world, right? One of the biggest in the world, Disney. And this is the statement. If you're watching it, you could read it along with us. We understand how important this issue is to our LGBTQ employees and many others. For nearly a century, Disney has been a unifying force that brings people together. We are determined that it remains in place where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. The biggest impact we can have in creating a more inclusive world is through the inspiring content we produce, the welcoming culture we create here, and diverse community organizations we support, including LGBTQ community. So what they're saying is that there's Disney. We make content and things for everybody, and we are not going to support this bill. Well, that didn't come without reaction from Florida. From the pro bill, like from Don't Say Gay bill. Matt Gaetz talked about it. I mean, Ron DeSantis is talking about it. I mean, he wrote it. We have politicians saying cancel your Disney Plus. Like I
heard there's a whole slew of Republicans saying boycott Disney, cancel your Disney Plus. Exactly. Like don't watch the movies, all that.
So boycott Disney because we want everyone to live freely and happily and mind their own fucking business. Yeah. Is that the reason to boycott somebody? Is that what we're doing these days?
Yeah, it's backwards. It's like you're not even
boycott them because they don't want to control how you live your life. They just want you to be happy.
Yeah. So it is a big hypocrisy. You can see the stance. And Disney's not going to back down. I joked before. Disney has enough lawyers to beat Florida. You know what I mean?
Listen.
So whatever you're doing, Republicans against Disney, it's not going to work.
It's not even about lawyers or whatever.
That's what I'm saying, though.
At the end of the day, the state of Florida does not survive without Disney.
Yeah.
The state of Florida lives on the back of that fucking mouse.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if Disney one day got a wild hair up their ass and said, you know what? we're gonna pack up our shit. And I mean, very unlikely.
No, it's not
but
gonna
if they did,
Yeah.
right, the economy in the state of Florida would go to absolute dog shit because they thrive on. Florida is the number one tourist destination in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's because of that mouse.
Exactly. So again, I'll say it again. It's obvious. This is nothing but a political play by Ron DeSantis. Whether you believe it or not,
can't cancel Disney.
That's what I'm saying. Like all you guys are saying is mute. It's not real. Like you can't enforce this kind of stuff. Like you are just ready to become president. Huh?
Disney will tank your presidential campaign before you get a chance to cancel Disney.
Either way, Ron DeSantis is running 2024, and he's got, and I promise you, he's got a ton of support. There's no way Trump is. I mean, if Trump runs, he's making it as an independent. He's not running. He's not going to go as a Republican. Absolutely not. But speaking of Ron DeSantis, let's give the man his flowers about one thing while we're here, because we believe in being fair and we believe in fair and balanced reporting here on the PodHeads web show. So I did want to, as much as we like to kick the guy in his shins as much as we can, I do want to also kiss his boo-boos every now and again, because we always say, I always say, right, the freaking the beetle came of the Nazis, right? Nazis invented the beetle.
Yes, right.
So there's always something that good comes out of shit, right? There's always something. So
space travel.
Well, right, we got
Fanta,
exactly right.
David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff, for Pete's sake, strudel.
Yeah.
So anyway, this guy Ron DeSantis creates. Sorry about that, folks. This guy Ron DeSantis created a bill that basically would require high school students to pass a financial literacy course before graduation. This takes effect, by the way, for students who are like entering high school. I believe in 2023, 2024
start
year.
Ninth graders in that year.
Yeah, so people who are not in high school right now, or people who are in high school right now, don't need to worry about it. But essentially, I don't know why everybody's asking shit for me in the middle of me talking, but we're doing Ron DeSantis he's doing a big, I guess, service to the future of all kids. You know what I mean? Because we've all said we learn about dumb shit. I mean, I don't even know what trigonometry is, and I'm sure there's somebody particularly watching, Shawnee, could tell me, but I damn sure don't use it in my daily life, and I'm doing just fine. But you know what? Financial literacy. I could have used a class about credit.
Hell yeah.
I could have used a class about savings and investing.
Interest.
But we don't do that.
Loans.
Communities tend to do that. But your average American doesn't talk to their kids about credit. We need to, right? Only in the last few years, I would say in the last decade or so, there's been kind of an awakening and a revolution. Things like Credit Karma, Capital One have made people more aware of their credit situation and more in control. But ultimately, beyond that, I mean, our parents really didn't know about credit very well. They didn't pass that information on to us very much. It wasn't
created until 1989.
Well, look at that. Exactly. It's a system that's actually kind of made to fucking keep people down and keep the banks up. So it's important to teach our kids, but how much do we know? That's my point. We're not bankers here. We're not experts in there. So I think that having a school, a course, that actually has some good information required for students to learn. This is for high school.
Good.
It's worth half a credit.
And
And
mandatory.
yeah, it's a mandatory for graduation. It's a
That's
half a
great.
credit
That's amazing.
mandatory class. Yeah. And like I said, taking to start next year. So it's going to be pretty cool. The 11th state, by the way, which I thought that was interesting, only the 11th state to require it.
It should be federal, and it should be all 50 states. I mean, I talk about it any chance I get on this show when I talk about interest and loans and this and that, because I didn't get it from my mother. You said it. Credit reporting only started in '89. Exactly. So they didn't even know. It was just a number to them.
Well, the thing,
but we grew up in it. It is our livelihood. It is I can't do anything without a good credit score today.
Houses without credit scores.
That's my point.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
they bought a house without that number. We can't even get anywhere near a house
Can't get shit.
with that
Can't buy a
number.
stick of gum without some
Fucking
fucking decent
God
credit.
damn it.
Well, see, the
So
thing
again,
is-
so I appreciate like to we're in the game. We gotta play in the game. Like we have to learn everything we can to succeed at this game. We hate it, we suck, but I need to know everything I need to know. Thank you, Ron DeSantis, for making sure that the children at least are required to learn something about it, because maybe they're not getting it from their parents.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. The average American has bad credit.
Look at that, right? Is that the
The
country we
average
want?
American, like we call them in the car business, the average
Ace.
American is a bogue.
Big
A
Ace,
vogue.
Big Ace worked in the car business for most of
20
his adult
years.
life. And let me
Oh.
ask you this. How often would you say, so you've dealt with
Bro,
thousands upon
Let
thousands
me
of
tell you
customers.
something.
So
I can't tell you how many times it's broken my heart to see somebody who
Needs a
needs
car.
No, well, not
a
even
car
just
or
not even
something
that,
and
but
just
how
that they can't.
not even credit. I would say, how often would you come across somebody who just was not financially literate in the least bit, just did not have a good sense
all the time
of their finances? Was it majority?
All the time,
Yeah.
bro. Listen, if you come in here telling me you want to buy this $60,000 truck and you want to be $350 a month, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I want to put no money
It's simple
down and
math,
be $350 a month on this $60,000 truck.
Yeah.
Dude, come.
Yeah.
You don't know.
It'll
You
take
don't
you
know
60
math.
years
You
to
don't
pay
know
that.
money.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Not only that, you'll get people also, motherfucker, you make $2,000 a month and you want to pay an $800 car payment?
Yeah.
You can't afford
yeah,
that.
you
Like,
can't
what is
live.
wrong
You're
with
gonna
you?
live
That's
in the
what that
car,
kind of
maybe.
thinking is what led to the housing crisis,
But that's why-
so long ago.
But that's why in the car business, there are, guidelines. Like a bank is not going to loan you unless you got perfect credit and whatever.
Is there
Most-
a magic
most of
number on that?
Well, the bank is going to look at the book value of a vehicle, the ACV, the actual cash value, and they're going to give you 120%, 125% of that, maybe 110%, depending on your credit. They might give you 90% of that. And all that is going to determine by the person's credit. Do they got some money down?
But that's what I'm saying.
or this-
What's that number? That like what's the magic number for the credit score itself? Like 740,
It's just-
800. Like they were
Anything
like.
above- almost anything
look
above
at
the
you and you're just
740,
like,
you
as
can
soon
buy
as
the building.
But I'm saying, whenever you see the number, you're just like, oh, this is in the
Aces.
books. There's no way this is gonna fail. Like, what's that number?
Listen, anything in the sevens,
You can get.
You
you
can
know,
buy.
you know they can buy it. The problem is, again, some of those people may have good credit. It doesn't mean they're financially literate.
Some people do and don't even realize they have good credit.
Mhm.
And it's not just about credit, right? I don't want to just get
people.
I don't want to just get griping about credit, but ultimately just financial literacy, banking. When I went into the Marines, at 17 years old. Okay. I spent my 18th birthday in boot camp, and I spent my 21st birthday in Iraq. When I got out, they put you through a I know, bummer. They
thank you for your service.
No.
I don't think I've said that before.
Same for you, bro. But yeah. So I remember when you get out, they make you take a series of classes so that you're not just put out into the world with not knowing shit but how to freaking like kill and freaking cook or something.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, and so they make you take. I remember they sat there and show, and I knew none of this stuff. And God bless my parents because I love my parents; they're great parents. But my parents never sat me down and taught me how to balance a checkbook. Never sat me down and taught me about any of that kind of stuff. So just sitting there on a big scale, what are those projectors, and watching this guy literally teach me how to fill out a check, and me going out line for line and learning how to fill out a freaking check, which nowadays doesn't even apply. My 17-year-old has a damn card,
Right.
but ultimately, I had to learn every single thing from how to fill out a check to credit, how to apply for a loan,
That
all
was my
that
first
shit.
bank account. I had to have a Navy
Me
Federal.
too, Navy
credit
Federal.
account in order for me to go to the military.
Most people ever in the military knew you had
Also,
Navy
yeah,
Federal or
I never had a
FVBA
I never had
or
a
something
checking
like
account or
that.
anything like that.
You I would say you Tony, when he was talking about you had people who needed a car, just had shitty credit. I argue that education at an earlier point doesn't lead to having shitty credit at those points because you are just illiterate. You know how to work. You know the game. You know the outcome. You know the consequences of, man, look at that interest rate. Maybe I shouldn't get with that loan or bill or whatever,
yes.
right? So that again, interest is my thing. Loans, and I didn't know any better. And oh my God, they were just
So
signing off.
Here's just a perfect example of my personal experience that I wasn't financially literate. Okay, so I was in the Army. I got injured at 20. All right. Whenever I got injured and I got out of the VA, I had $100,000 given to me in cash.
Mm-hmm.
I wasted that money
Just
on like
blew it.
partying
Imagine
in a year.
Imagine, dude.
Okay.
In a year,
And
look at
then
that.
aside from that, that's just step one of my being dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Step two is I fucking I bought a house. And I was approved basically for like $250,000, and I basically spent the entire $250,000 on getting this one house that I'm in right now. But if I was really smart, I would have gotten myself either like maybe a duplex that was $200,000, where I have one side and they have the other side, and I rent the other side out, and I rent the other side out for so much more money that I'm able to pay for my mortgage completely.
Or
and then
some
once
stock,
I get
right?
that
Stocks, investments.
Imagine if you would have bought $100,000 worth of Amazon stock back then.
Now I can go back to the bank and I can show that I actually don't spend any money on this property at all. And now they're going to give me a mortgage for another $250,000 somewhere else. I can get another property for $250,000 and have that as a rental property. And then once I show that is financially
we get it, Cash. We get it. Yes, you're rambling. You're rambling. This is a podcast. Yes, we get it.
But
definitely, you can flip and keep going, and you should have $100,000 wasted. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
And if he knew that from jump, he would have done that, right? But you didn't. You weren't taught. Like, you want your future generations to know wealth. You want your people to create their own wealth. Like, teach them how to create their wealth.
For Pete's sake. I talk to my kids about credit.
You got to learn about this shit yourself first, though, people. You can't teach your kids some shit.
It's too late for me now.
True.
My credit's fucked up.
Crypto. Right. Most people are still working on their credit, right? Absolutely. Crypto is something new that nobody really knows a whole lot about.
Great point. And it's here. And it makes money.
Start getting your kids on that kind of stuff. So, I mean, just saying, I like the fact. Yeah, I like the fact that Ron DeSantis is doing something that we consider ultimately positive for everybody. I have not read every single detail of this bill, so who knows what, I'm sure there's somebody out there screaming, well, no, they're freaking, but
I don't see education, right? Education in all forms, it's a positive, man, no matter the subject, especially finances in this country where that special number is everything. If you have the credit, you can literally do anything in this country.
Listen, you could be
0% interest.
You could be a millionaire. It don't matter if you're a fucking 500 beacon.
There you go. The number means all these days, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people out there making $100,000, got shitty credit, and can't buy shit.
That to me is wild to think. That's crazy.
You got to pay cash for everything. Yeah, that sucks.
No breaks. It's not, but you get no breaks.
Not
like, no help.
Yeah. Low interest. There's a lot of, especially in business, right? Never spend your own money, So if you can manage to borrow it and pay it back quick enough, I mean, whatever. Yeah. I'm no, what is this
financial
guy? Of course,
advisor.
I can't think of anybody. Eddie V. I can't think of any of these.
Put your all money in GameStop.
AMC GameStop.
Bro, AMC need to bounce back, man.
They got him. They got you.
I mean, I'm not losing, but
hand,
I need to make some more, man. Shit.
Yeah. That guy posted again, by the way. That guy Diamond Hands posted again.
Yeah.
And he bought some more. Yeah, he's doing it all over again.
Nice.
Yeah.
This guy.
Mom just texted me. Said, why isn't the camera in front of you guys? It is.
She must be watching on Instagram.
She must be watching on Instagram.
That's our mom.
Look
at my mom's being a mom, being all old and stuff.
Instagram, yeah.
Where's the camera?
Get your
Facebook Live, mom.
YouTube too.
YouTube, all that good stuff. Right. Hey, what's up, Mike? Or just check out the podcast.
We got Mike, the champ of our football league. Fantasy football league.
So let's talk about, before we get out of here, this MORE Act, because that was the big thing in politics that kind of got us thinking about our backyard politics in general. This is kind of more of a big picture because this is federal, right? We've spoken about each state. Poor Florida. We've had to sit here and watch every state over the last couple of years, damn near every state, more than half the country, legalize recreational cannabis. While we've sat here with lame ass freaking medical weed, just like a poor kid, with a broken arm watching everybody play outside, broken leg, whatever. And finally, right, there's some hope, right? The MORE Act. People start talking about Schumer and all these people trying to bring back legalized cannabis, okay? Not only legalized cannabis, but expunge records of people who have nonviolent offenders in certain situations, who have who have records for cannabis. Let people out of prison who are in prison for cannabis. Decriminalize. And Big Ace even told me, a personal favorite of mine, that they were going to take the word off of the federal, what is it called? The rating. What is it? What do they call it when it
says
the schedule?
A schedule. Yes, they were going to take the word from the scheduling and change it from marijuana to cannabis.
Replace statutory references to marijuana with cannabis.
So we said it. I've told you about this. Yes. I said I hate the word marijuana, and it's funny because 420 guy hates the word marijuana. Why do you hate the word marijuana? If you haven't heard me say it before, because the marijuana, in my opinion, is an offensive word. It is a abrasive word. It's a word that has been made up, and has racist connotations. It's been made up by the U.S. government to basically put the fear into Americans that Mexicans, that Latinos, are hopped up on weed, essentially are going to come and freaking murder you and take your children and rape your kids. You know
madness.
what I mean? And so they made up the term marijuana to basically associate people with Latinos. And so I never liked the word. Well, when I learned that, I stopped liking the word. And you'll notice that I really make an effort not to use the word marijuana on our show. I refer to it as much as possible as cannabis. And even when it slips up, we do correct each other. And, we refer to it as what it should be called, cannabis, green, bud, weed, anything else but marijuana, just because I'm not going to freaking give power to that word, because I think, like you guys say, it's racist. It's offensive. It's bad on all terms. So #cannabis. Yeah. I like the fact that the federal government has taken it upon itself, or at least those who have written up this bill have taken it upon it.
I appreciate it
themselves to change the wording, because I think words have power. We have said it here on the show.
Bingo.
So, but ultimately, what does the MORE Act do? Right, the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act. Right, decriminalize at the federal level, removing substances from the Controlled Substances Act.
It doesn't get any easier than that.
So there's a few additional things, okay? First of all, let's start by saying this bill was originally introduced in July of 2019.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And it's shot down.
Every year, basically.
So now it passed, so we'll see how it goes from here.
Yeah, they've had to rewrite. I think we've talked about this a few times. I think we talked about it originally.
Passed the House before, I believe.
No, I don't think the same bill. There has been another cannabis, another version of it. There has been for so that we don't miss it, because I'm sure somebody out there is like, whatever.
So
we're talking about the MORE Act because it's an act to legalize cannabis federally, right? It just passed the House of Representatives and it needs to pass the Senate. Well, a bill like this, yes, has passed before the House of Representatives, and then of course was killed in the Senate, which of course a lot of people are expecting to happen in this case. But we want to talk about it regardless.
So this is the 2020 version that passed. Okay. So it originally came out in 19, revised in 2020. Specifically, it removes marijuana from the list of scheduled substances under the Controlled Substances Act, eliminates criminal penalties for an individual who manufactures, distributes, or possesses marijuana. But it also, as we said, changes the references from marijuana to cannabis. It requires the Bureau of Labor and Statistics to regularly publish demographic data on cannabis businesses, owners, and employees.
Wow.
Establishes a trust fund to support various programs and services for individuals and businesses and communities impacted by the war on drugs. imposes an excise tax on cannabis products produced in or imported into the United States, and an occupational tax on cannabis product facilities and export warehouses.
I see this authorizes a 5% tax to fund programs supporting communities most impacted by war on drugs. It's a big thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, preventing deportations for cannabis convictions.
It makes small.
This thing has marijuana all over it. Yeah.
We'll get there.
It's
people.
called, marijuana in the freaking name of the act, for Pete's sake. But could have called it the Core Act.
Jeez.
But one of the best things is it makes small business administration loans and services available to entities that are cannabis related, legitimate businesses and service providers.
That one I
they
love.
can get federal government loans like any other business.
Yeah, I love that for the small business. We talked about before, like big pharma, or we call it big marijuana, big weed, is taking over because they just have the money, because little guys can't get any loans, can't get any banking. Well, here you go.
It prohibits the denial of federal public benefits to a person on the basis of certain cannabis-related conduct or conviction.
And if you've ever applied for FAFSA, if you've ever applied for federal funding for anything for a house, if you've ever applied for federal funding for anything for school, anything like that, medical, there's a question on there that asks if you've ever been convicted of a crime relating to drugs, and marijuana is listed on there. And you cannot, if you have, you won't get funds, you won't get those scholarships, you won't get those loans, anything like that. And so it's changing that. That's pretty cool.
It directs the Government Accountability Office to study the societal impact of cannabis legalization. But the biggest deal is it establishes a process to expunge convictions and conduct sentencing review hearings related to federal cannabis offenses.
Big ups, absolutely. These people, we talk nonviolent offenses for something that people are making millions of dollars for.
Yeah, what? How are you in prison for something that somebody else is making millions of dollars for?
No, it should be immediate. Open the doors, and I love that. Right, out. The federal ones, they get another shot at it, essentially. So I love it. I love everything about this.
I hate the fact that just thinking about that drives me crazy. How, yes, people are making millions of dollars off a product that some people are in freaking jail for. But ultimately, what needs to happen for this to actually be made, right? So the House voted, right? And ultimately pass. They got enough, right? So now the Senate, which is what, 50-50 split? 50. Republican and Democrat? But what do they need 60% vote to pass, majority. Right? Yeah. So they need all the Democrats.
Not just a simple majority, right? You need all the Democrats and
what, 10 Republicans at least?
Yep. And at least 10 Republicans.
And do they have all the Democrats? I don't know.
They do. A lot of all the Democrats are on board.
Okay, you sure? Chuck Schumer's got all the boys,
yes,
all the girls and boys,
I think there's about 3 Republicans that I don't know the names. That sucks, because I like giving them props because they stand up to this shit when it comes to cannabis.
We don't got 10 of them, though.
We don't got 10 of them, though. That's for sure. So
this is gonna have to happen.
I'm not we.
Yeah. We need somebody to make some moves in Washington right now, like the movies.
Again, I Biden.
Aaron Brockovich, this shit.
Uncle Biden.
It would be a movie if they did that. But they really did miss the opportunity to call this the Core Act.
They could have called it the Core Act. The cannabis. Opportunity,
I don't think it's gonna happen, guys. I think it will die in the Senate.
Well, technically, if it passes, they'd have to change it because part of the law is that you gotta change it.
If it passes, it will change to core.
Claim it, PodHeads trademark, right?
You're welcome, Schumer. You're welcome.
Not hopeful. I wish. I hope. I said I'm looking at you, Uncle Biden. I thought that was a part of his platform. That and student loans. I haven't seen anything from the White House, so I don't feel like it's gonna happen, guys. In this term, 2 years, right? 2024 is the next presidential election. I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm sorry to bust your bubble.
I think now is as good a time as any. I think it's important that actually happens now, because I think I feel like it's just kind of chill. Nobody's really talking about it. You got the shit going on in Russia and Ukraine. True. Biden is kind of like a harmless, just like nobody really. Everybody's just kind of waiting for another
on the slide.
Type of thing. Yeah, just squeeze it in there right now. Let's get this done and over with before DeSantis takes over in freaking 2024, because you know these Republicans are just waiting. These Karens are gonna be lining up, especially with the voting, all the damn voting laws that have been enacted in the last couple of years.
I hate. We saw the slide earlier. I hate when corporations, private entities, can use their massive wallets to influence politics. It's not fair.
This is
Big
America.
Pharma is influencing this marijuana. Like, there's no reason. There's no Publix. You said it. There's no reason it shouldn't be. Like, we're not even asking for government money. We'll tax ourselves to pay for all these things we're asking for. Like, so again, there's no argument other than money.
That's why you'll never
greedy.
get campaign finance reform.
No,
Never. It's just too
But
much.
You're going
that's,
to tell somebody, I need you to vote on something that means you can't take money from people.
Yeah, they will never vote their money away. I say that 100
You say it all the time.
all
yeah.
the time. People will not vote their
Yeah.
money
Oh,
away.
term limits? Come on.
No.
Again, not vote their money away.
Electoral
That's easy
college,
check. Get out of here,
I mean,
guys.
voting, voting guidelines, where they call that, districts, all that shit.
Oh my God, yeah, gerrymandering.
Gerrymandering. Yeah.
That stuff.
Listen,
pisses
there's
me
no
off,
reason.
man.
There's no reason why we should have senators in there any longer than if the president can only get 8 years max.
Lifetime freaking
lifetime
seats.
senators and
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Representatives should
Hey,
also be.
If you're working
Listen,
on the federal level side, yeah. Term
And it's
limits.
for
Listen,
that,
the
and
people
that's
in
the thing.
office have to change with the times, like the rest of the people in fucking society.
Yes, exactly. We have changed. We have gone through generational changes from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s,
Right?
and 2000 teens and 20s. Guess what? Every damn decade, we all change our draws. We change how we talk, walk, act,
Music,
speak, what we like, what we don't
food.
like. And yet, the same freaking people have been in the same seats for damn the
Preach.
whole time.
Telling us we
Preach.
can't do none of it.
Yeah, we can't do shit.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No.
So I'm
Oh,
just saying,
yeah.
and these are the people that you got to watch out. These are the people that you are allowing to get into those spots. These are the people that we are allowing to get into those positions, because we're just Christmas treeing our freaking ballots every 4 years, because we only know who the hell the president is. And God damn it, I always say, screw the president. They really don't matter. They're just a damn
Figureheads.
placeholder so
Yeah.
that they can get people pissed off on both sides and freaking give somebody for the rest of the world to point at.
Yeah, like,
But
if y'all haven't
ultimately,
figured out,
the people in the Senate, the House, your local representatives, your local politicians, these are the guys that are affecting Ron DeSantis, how your kids are educated,
Right?
how you're able to vote, how, what you're
Affecting my
able to do
daughter.
every single day. These are the guys. And I didn't know Ron DeSantis. I didn't vote for the guy or against him. I don't even remember. I might have, because his name sounds Spanish. So for all I know, I might have heard DeSantis. Shit.
Sounds
All right.
good.
Yeah, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
So that's my point, is like, we have to educate ourselves about what is happening in our backyard. That's the whole
It
reason why we're
affects
doing
you.
this in this particular
Mhm.
episode.
Local politics affects.
Way more than what happens in the White House. Stop
Bingo.
arguing with people at work about
yeah,
Trump and dumb shit like that.
Listen,
Pay attention to dudes that are in your freaking local White House.
If you motherfuckers haven't
Or
figured
whatever.
out by now,
Governors.
after the Obama administration, the Trump administration, the president don't do shit unless other people let him do it.
Yeah, there's checks and balances all across the board there. So even if you
I
want,
mean, there's a lot that the president could do right now, like eliminate
Could.
student debt. He can make weed
he
legal.
can literally sign
can
a piece of
literally make
paper.
weed
Yeah,
legal
I'm
right
talking
now
about
if he
important.
decided.
Yeah, but they're not gonna do that shit.
Nah.
He could.
His point
He would
is
be more,
valid
if he
though.
did that right now, I guarantee if he did that right now,
Sure.
he would be more
His-
popular,
his
and he would
point-
actually get votes for 2024 or 2022? No.
24.
What's the next fucking thing?
24.
24.
He's too busy laying this Russia-Ukraine thing. But we got to go. Listen, we're
Yeah.
over an hour,
And
guys.
messing with gas
It's
prices.
fun. Yeah, messing with gas prices. Yeah, he's too busy, right? Raising all the gas prices. Damn you, Joe
Well,
Biden.
listen.
Go ahead.
Motherfuckers bitching about gas prices, bro. We're not even in the top 10 in the world for gas prices.
Yeah, look at that.
There you go.
Like, there's motherfuckers paying
Relative.
$10 and $12 a gallon for gas.
Damn.
Damn.
Yeah. I know in Europe it's crazy.
Yeah,
But
bro.
but we gotta get out of here,
Yeah,
guys.
dude,
So listen,
shout out to
yeah.
cool Colin Simon.
Yeah,
the
shout out
lowest.
to @Calm Simon. Shout out to WJHM102jams.com. Those guys, we love you guys over there. Every Wednesday,
Yep,
7
yep,
p.m. At PodHeads Web Show, all over the place. ThePodheads.com till next Wednesday.
Sir. Deuces.
Big Ace.
Yeah.
JB.
Later.